Hello everyone, welcome into the Kickoff Show. It's almost time for the start of the 2008 NFL season, with some teams celebrating and others asking where it went wrong, as we start off the show with the fallout of the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. 18-1 was the record the Patriots ended their impressive 2007 season with. After the devastating loss to Eli Manning and the Giants in the Super Bowl, the question is, how did the Patriots respond going into this season? Well, Belichick told reporters that he's not really worried about last year anymore. So the Patriots come into 2008 with mostly the same group as Brady, Moss, Bruschi, and Harrison all returned. The Patriots should treat 2008 as a clean slate to show that last season wasn't a fluke. Our next topic is the rookies coming in. The third overall pick, Matt Ryan, is going to get his start for the Falcons and is getting the keys handed to him right away in week 1 as he starts versus the Lions. Matt Ryan was praised in camp for his command of the offense and is getting some help thanks to veteran Michael Turner, who is newly signed from the Chargers to try and take some pressure off of the new rookie. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, Joe Flacco, who was the 18th overall pick, will get his start versus the Bengals and becomes the first rookie QB in Ravens history to start week 1 since 2003. Joe Flacco was praised by his teammates for his poise and arm talent, as Flacco has a big supporting cast, as Ray Rice also gets his start this season, creating a young backfield for Flacco and the Ravens. Darren McFadden, who was the 4th overall pick, is expected to dominate the Raiders running game. Darren McFadden is being called the next Adrian Peterson, according to several media outlets. Oakland is planning to use McFadden in the passing and running game. McFadden is paired with Justin Vargas in the Raiders' run-heavy offense. Next up, over in Tennessee, Chris Johnson makes his debut with the Titans as the 24th overall pick. He brings much-needed speed to this Titans backfield. Chris Johnson was the fastest player in the draft, running a 4.24 40-yard dash. Luckily, Tennessee needed explosiveness with a struggling Vince Young, and they are hoping Chris Johnson will be that spark. And lastly, Jake Long, the first overall pick in the draft, is tasked with protecting Chad Pennington all season in Miami. Jake Long is the first offensive tackle taken first overall since 1997. Jake Long is being labeled as a cornerstone for this Dolphins offensive line, as you have said that Jake Long looked NFL ready from day 1 after a dominant training camp performance. Next up, we have several rookie head coaches getting their first start. John Harbaugh in Baltimore, Mike Smith in Atlanta, Tony Sparano in Miami, and Jim Zorn in Washington, all getting their start in week 1. John Harbaugh will get his NFL coaching debut as he takes on the Bengals in week 1. He has an elite Ravens defense and a rookie QB to work with. Harbaugh had this to say about getting the job. He said, "I'm proud to be the football coach of the Baltimore Ravens. This is an opportunity of a career. I can't wait to get started." The Ravens did a complete staff overhaul in the offseason as they hired Greg Madison and Cam Cameron to modernize this offense. And over in Atlanta, the former defensive coordinator for the Jags For the Jaguars, Mike Smith starts his head coaching run in a post-Vic world, and the start of the Matt Ryan era in Atlanta. Mike Smith said about being hired on as the head coach of the Falcons, "My goal is to build a well-disciplined, hard-nosed football team that will be able to run the football on offense and stop the run on defense." Veterans in the locker room said Smith brings structure the team desperately needed. Meanwhile in Miami, Tony Sparano, looking to try and rebuild the Dolphins in his coaching debut after being on the Cowboys coaching staff. He has had players say that his practices are night and day compared to last season. We will keep an eye on Sparano as he takes on the Jets in Week 1. And finally, former QB coach for the Seahawks, Jim Zorn, is tasked with being the head coach of the Washington Redskins. Zorn was originally hired on as an OC, then got promoted after the search shifted. Washington is expected to compete immediately, according to the GM. So Zorn could end up on the hot seat early if things don't go to plan. And now it is time for our Week 1 preview. Starting off with the New York Giants, defending Super Bowl champions, opening up their season at home as they take on the Washington Redskins and look to actually defend their home field, which is something they struggled with significantly last season. The Redskins start the season with new head coach Jim Zorn and a brand new West Coast offense. The NFC East was the toughest division in 2007, so an early win for either of these teams could be the difference between being in the playoffs or missing out. Next up, the big story in the offseason, Brett Favre coming out of retirement to sign with the New York Jets, who will play the Miami Dolphins. The Jets went all in during the offseason and revamped their offensive line to try and help out Brett Favre. Then added deadly new pass rushers Calvin Pace and Chris Jenkins. The Jets are looking to be a solid dark horse team in the AFC. On the flip side, Tony Sparano in Miami makes his debut as their newest head coach, and Chad Pennington, who will face his former team after being released by the Jets for Favre. Jake Long will be protecting Pennington's blindside as the Dolphins are hoping to rebound after their devastating 1-15 finish from last season. Over in Atlanta, the post-Vic era begins and the Matt Ryan chaos begins. Matt Ryan, who is the first Falcons rookie QB to start Week 1 since 2003, are looking to put together a promising season as they take on the Lions. Detroit, on the other hand, after starting 6-2, had a collapse and finished with a 7-9 record last season, and looked to rebound with John Kitna, Roy Williams, and rising star Calvin Johnson, who is coming in to his second year. John Kitna had an impressive season last year, going for 4,000 yards twice, and is looking to put up similar numbers this season. Over in Baltimore, another rookie emerges with Joe Flacco, who starts his career taking on the Bengals following an injury to Kyle Bowler in training camp. As John Harbaugh and Flacco try to get each other a win. Cincinnati will not be a pushover, however, with Carson Palmer at the helm and their explosive receiving duo in Chad Johnson, TJ Houshmandzadeh, who is coming off a league-leading 112-catch season. And finally, a Super Bowl 41 rematch with the Colts opening their state-of-the-art $720 million retractable roof stadium as a now healthy Peyton Manning and the Colts take on Kyle Orton and the Chicago Bears on Sunday Night Football. For the Colts, they have one goal, and that's a Super Bowl run. With a returning Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and Joseph Adai, the Colts are looking dangerous. Manning did miss all of training camp due to an infection, so that could play a factor against a tough Bears team. As for the Bears, they move on from Rex Grossman as Kyle Orton will step in and try to carry this team to a playoff win. And Matt Forte will make his debut. Bears defense is still as deadly as ever, with Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, and Tommy Harris threats as the Bears look to play spoiler. And now it's time for our game of the week. I did have some promising options in the Giants Redskins game with new head coach Jim Zorn taking the reins. I could have chosen Atlanta and Detroit with Matt Ryan and Mike Smith both starting their careers. However, I am going to go with Brett Favre in a new shade of green as my game of the week is going to be the Dolphins and the Jets as Favre makes his debut. And Chad Pennington gets a shot at his former team and the man who replaced him. That's our show. We will be back after week 1 of this season to recap and look ahead to week 2. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and enjoy week 1 of the 2008 season.